Easy. Can you just talk about the job that Aubrey did keeping you guys in the game in the first half when you had a little bit of foul trouble there? She just came in and gave you guys a big lift.
I mean, that's what Aubrey does. Her energy and her intensity on defense, and then offensively, I mean, when she starts going to the rim or when she gets out on a fast break, it's over. So that just kind of like you said, just that that energy and that second, like that second win she brought from the bench was just what we needed to keep us going.
AZ, what was the difference between the way you played, you thought, in the second half as compared to the first half?
I think I shot threes in the second half. I don't know why I didn't shoot much in the first half, but I was open a couple times. My teammates kept telling me to shoot, and I let them go in the second half, and they went in. But I think just we kind of settled more in the second half. We were able to run more stuff. My teammates got me open, set great screens, and let me score.
Izzy, not only did you have to shoot quite a bit, you had to handle the ball a lot tonight. How did you feel physically going so many minutes, and did you learn something about yourself tonight?
I did. I mean, I've been working a lot on bringing the ball up and running point in practice, but it's one thing doing it in practice and another doing it in a game, especially against such a tough team, an aggressive team. So I think I definitely gained a lot of confidence from this game. I think there's a lot that I took away that I need to get better at, but I think overall, I definitely gained a lot of confidence handling the ball.
Yeah, AZ or whoever might want to answer this, but did Swin Cash talk to you all before the game, and what was her message to you?
She did talk to us a little bit, I mean, she's been here before us, so she just wished us good luck for the game, and she said that she's always there for us as a resource if we need her, and yeah, it was cool to see her before the game and, have some words with her.
Any or all of you could answer this, but Coach was talking yesterday about how he saw this as like the first real test for you guys, and no matter what happened, that you would learn a lot from it. So I guess as a collective, how did you think you handled the kind of situation of the game and such a big matchup, and what did you learn about it, your team?
Can you repeat it? Sorry.
Basically, Coach was saying that this was a good test for you guys to see where you were and how you'd handle adversity. So how did you feel like you all did as a team handling that adversity?
Yeah. I mean, it was our second game. I think we played good for it being our second game, and like everyone played together. There's still stuff we need to work on, obviously, but overall, I think we still came together and we finished the game.
AC, it looked like after the game, Nika grabbed your head and said something. What did she say to you, if you don't mind?
She was just proud of me. She was just telling me she was proud of me, basically, in simpler words.
AZ, you had a career high tonight against a number 3 ranked opponent. What does it say to you that you can produce these kind of numbers against a highly ranked team?
I think, all the credit goes to my teammates. Like tonight we were in foul trouble. Lou was in foul trouble. And I was bringing the ball down more. Just things were different, and we handled everything really well. But I think like my teammates just did a great job of being confident and trusting each other, trusting me. I trusted them, and I just happened to be open a lot, I guess. But I know that any other night, that could be Lou, it could be Aubrey scoring 30. So I think just knowing that about our team, that there's so much, is diversity the right word? But just like we're all capable of doing so much, it's going to make it really fun playing together this season.
Aubrey, this was your second game back. How do you just feel just health-wise, knowing that, you come off the bench and can score 14?
Yeah, it feels great being that I was out so long. But I'm just happy I get to play with my teammates now. It's been a minute.
Lou, as a scorer yourself, can you just talk about watching the type of performance that AZ had tonight? How impressed you were by that?
Yeah, I think she's being really humble about it. and she knows who to create her shot too. Obviously, she was open many times, but I think her confidence just to like have the ability to shoot the ball, and all of us, her teammates, most of the time we know that it's gonna go in, but it's great. I mean, I look up to her, you know, even if she's younger than me, and it's great to see a shooter like that, you know, playing our team. So it's very impressive.
AZ, what's this mean to you as a group, having such a tough test like this and coming through with such flying colors with everything you guys have been through the last couple months?
I mean, this game was a lot of fun. I'm really proud of our entire team. There's a lot that we can take away that we can get better at, but there's also a lot of really good things that we did, and if we just keep building on it, then this season is going to be a lot of fun.
This is a question for anyone. How does it feel having a Caroline Ducharme back in the rotation and in the roster?
It's great. I mean, you know, whenever like she's able to be in the game, we want her to be in the game. She's a big factor for our team. So whatever minutes we can get from her, and we know it's gonna get more minutes throughout the year, but it's always exciting.
Lou, we mentioned that you were in early foul trouble, and then it kind of piled up with other players too. How did you feel like the team was able to kind of navigate that, and then players like even yourself or Aaliyah, even down the stretch, kind of combat that and play really well despite that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I need to like get better at not getting in foul trouble, especially in the first half. But I think that, you know, we have players in the bench that can come in and do what they have to do. And that's what happened today, and everyone was able to score. And I think that's a big plus for us.
Aubrey, I'm just wondering, when you were going through your rehab during the spring and summer, and when you thought about coming back, was there ever a time that you thought there might not be another night like this? This might not work out for you. And to do it on the big stage, on national TV, in the big crowd, what does it mean to you?
I feel like no, I didn't have any like lack of confidence. I worked like really hard in rehab just to be back on the court and be back playing with my team, and it just means a lot just to be on the court playing with them again since it's been so long. But I definitely feel like I was ready.
Yeah, if you'll indulge me, one more Swin question. AZ, tonight was a celebration of what Swin did as a player here at UConn, and of course what she did as in WNBA. But how much does it mean to you what she's done after her playing career? She's now an executive in the NBA. She's really kind of been a trailblazer for women in sports and sports management. What does that mean to you for her as a role model?
Well, first, it was an honor to be able to be here while they retired her number. But I think it just kind of goes to show, like, the UConn alums are incredible. And I think her story that she told today, how Coach, while she was here, Coach just told her, like, her work ethic. Like, she was relentless, and she kind of took that with her, and she took it while she was played professionally. And now where she works, and she just continues to outwork everyone. I think that's an incredible message to us, to both like outwork people on the court, outwork people in the classroom, eventually like when I graduate, God, to just keep outworking people. But I think just having someone like her as our role model, getting to look up to her, I mean, it's incredible for us to see what she's doing, to pave the way for us like she did here, and she's kind of just a great person to look up to.
Easy, we haven't seen you since it happened, but what did you think of Steph wearing your jersey at his post-game presser?
I had no idea he was going to do that. It was really cool. I was shocked.
For any of you guys, just, what changed from the first half to the second half with, limiting your guys' turnovers and handling the pressure from Texas?
I mean, I think that once the first half was done, we knew like the things we need to work on, and even though we were up, we had to protect the ball more. And I think that AZ did a great job when she had to be the point guard. But we just learn from our mistakes, and I think that's a big thing for us to do throughout the year, and just keep our confidence up too.
Lou, when you thought about this game the last couple of days, and you wonder how it would play out, now that it's done, does it feel as good as you would think it would? And Azzy, I'm wondering if you can give Steph a loan to get one of your real jerseys.
Yeah, no, it felt great. A win is a win, and whether it's against Texas or another team, I know, it was kind of like a personal revenge, but it's with another team, and I'm just so happy that we won tonight, and it was a great win. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jesus, Anna. What? The hell? Neil, still 14-10? Yes. Let's make this quick.
Sure. Am I good to go? Okay. Geno, you talked yesterday about about this being a litmus test for your team with so many new pieces and new roles. So what did you learn about your team today?
That's funny because that's the question I asked in the locker room. I asked, so what did we learn, about ourselves tonight? And I think Nika said it best probably. She said, I think we learned that we could be really, really good and we could be really, really bad. And that's that's probably it in a nutshell. When we were good, we were really, really good. And when we were not good at all. And for the second game of the year, I didn't expect us to be in mid-season form, but we found a way to win the game in spite of whatever it is that we didn't do or whatever foul trouble we got in or whatever mistakes we made. And I've said this a lot over the years. When two really good teams play against each other, it usually comes down to one team has one guy that just takes over the game and wins it for them, and that's what AZ did for us. Now, obviously, she didn't do it single-handedly by herself. She had a lot of help, but, that's going forward, that's the kind of performance you need from that was an All-American performance today. That's like player of the year performance there tonight. I don't know that we can count on that every single night, so we're going to have to, fix a couple things, but it's pretty impressive tonight, I thought.
Did you say something to her at the half? Because she did score 22 of them in the second half. Did you just ask her to shoot the ball more, or did she just naturally kind of take over?
I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I'm just always after her to shoot more, to not pass up any shots, to be more aggressive with the ball. And, I don't care if she takes 20, 30, 40 shots. I don't care, as long as they're good shots and as long as she's, being aggressive. And she gets a little tentative sometimes. And I think she was a little bit tentative in that first half. And I think in the second half, she was the AZ that, we all expected when we recruited her. There aren't very many players like her in the country. That's for sure.
She took over like great players will, obviously. But for long stretches, it didn't look like a team that she's necessarily going to have to pull along or carry. I'm wondering what you think of the different ways a lot of your other players impacted the game, particularly early.
Yeah. Well, I agree with Nika. When we were in some kind of flow, it looked like a lot of people were getting a chance offensively. And when we were not, we were stagnant, and we were all watching AZ play one-on-one. Lou played in foul trouble seemed like the whole game, and still did, a lot that we would think is going to get even better. Aubrey came in and played, I think she played the whole second half, and gave us some great minutes. So those two in particular, Nika and Dorka, Nika had to play 35 minutes. Dorka, I think, played all 40. And they had their hands full, both of them. Everyone contributed a little bit. I thought Aaliyah was not good at all in the whole first half, and I thought she was pretty good in the second half. So everybody did a little bit to help the cause. That's what good teams are supposed to do, right? That's how we got up 17. And then, the next step is how do you go from there to the next level? And that's going to take some time probably.
Geno, you said the other day that coming back, Aubrey was going to have to be even better than she was originally to fit in with this team. The way she came in today and just affected the game immediately, hit a three, kind of changed the pace of the game a little bit. And when you had a nice little run in the second quarter, do you think she is doing that? Or do you think that she's better than before? And how did she affect the game today?
Yeah, Aubrey's big thing has always been, having a certain belief in herself that this is what I do, this is who I am, and not questioning her abilities. And more, for her to take that three as soon as she got into the game and make it, I think that's a sign that she's more comfortable with herself. There's still a lot more that I expect that she can do, but she can be a great energizer coming off the bench. We can use her a lot of different ways defensively, and I think offensively she's going to find her role, whatever that is. Some nights it's knock down, stand still threes. Some nights it's get to the basket and take advantage of the pressure. But Aubrey, there's never been a question about can she do it. It's can she hold on to the belief that she can do it. And hopefully that's that's the next step that she's taken.
Hey, Coach, it's T. Baker with the Next over here. Just want to reflect on Swin Cash's number retirement, and in particular that 2002 class. We had Tamika, Asia, Swin, Sue. What made that group so special, not just for what they did on the court, but off the court?
Well, there was something different about them while we were recruiting them, and they recruited each other. So they already had a connection when they got here. And they were very, very selfless when they got here. They didn't care about anything other than winning. Swin cared about starting. Swin cared about scoring points, getting rebounds, making a name for herself, putting herself on the map. And she did all those things. But for the most part, that class lived up to all the expectations that we all had of them, because all they cared about was winning. They were competitive. They were tough. They were great leaders in their own right. When I said that I would love to be able to look down the bench and, see Swin and put her in. I saw her after the game. I said, I told you might have had a chance to play. She goes, nah, but Asia wants to talk to you about your post defense. So they never stop coaching. They never stop, loving our program and caring about our program, and they're always around. And what they did while they were here for 4 years was one thing, and what they've done since leaving, it's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
Geno, can you assess the few minutes you were able to get Caroline, and also Nika played 37 minutes with a lot on her plate, and just assess, her performance tonight?
Yeah. I wasn't sure how many minutes Caroline would be able to get. She's only had 2 days of practice in the last 2 weeks, pretty much, yesterday and the day before. And so I didn't know how long she'd be able to go. And it's just going to get better, each time that she gets a chance to practice. Nika's made a lot of progress, right? She's matured a lot. She's grown up a lot. She's taken things to heart, even more so than she did, which she already did. She's taking more responsibility for everything, which is great. But, we got it 12-point lead or whatever, and she just couldn't help herself because it had been maybe 10, 15 minutes before she had punched anybody. So she had to run up and whack a kid, setting a legal screen just for the hell of it, because she just felt like she needed that. I don't know what it is, but so she's come a long way. She used to do 4 or 5 of those a game. She only did 1 today. But other than AZ, there's probably more pressure on Nika this year for us than any other player on our team. Those are 2 players that we can't replace, and I wouldn't trade her. I wouldn't trade her for anybody. Today.
Geno, 2-part question. The free throw shooting on both teams was
horrible.
Horrific.
Horrific. There's a reason they're called free throws.
Apparently not tonight.
Not tonight.
Was there just an aberration that no one could hit a free throw tonight? And the second part, just you always talk about playing a tough schedule, and does it help this team more with so many new sort of pieces trying to fit in? And I know you didn't make the schedule with this group of mine because obviously Paige was supposed to be part of it and such, but how much will this help you playing so many good teams with this group to get them ready for when the games really count for you at the end of the year?
Yeah, I was ranting and raving when I went in the locker room, and the coaches made a point, to bring up, it's our second game of the year. Did you really expect us to look like we were mid-season form? We have a lot of stuff on film that we can show them. These are great moments for them to learn, and all true. we we did more things wrong probably tonight than we did right for what we think we should have been able to do, and we still got up 17. And then, you know, went from 17 to 7 or 8 or 9, whatever it was. So if we can find a way to do what we did and still win the game, that's a pretty good sign going forward, because we're only going to get better at those things we didn't do great tonight. And we could easily, you know, those free throws, the fouls, and everything could have gone the other way, and we'd have chalked it up to like, hey, we're not ready. But you'd rather learn by winning than losing.
Coach, AZ Fun, I know we've talked about her a lot, but, you know, she has an elite ability to score at every level of the floor, and the Texas coach even singled out her mid-range game specifically. Can you just speak to her ability to make shots on every area of the floor?
Yeah. Well, when you're such a you know, prolific three-point shooter like she is, and it's not just stand there and make threes, it's the way she gets them and how quickly she gets them off. And they're always under pressure, it seems like. But people have not seen that side of her where she can get to the basket and has a way to finish, even in traffic. And I think every great player should understand this, because she's such a great three-point shooter, it's almost imperative that she have a great mid-range game. Because if you don't, people just run you off the line and then you have nothing. So when you're playing against her, you got to make a decision. What do I want to give up? And mostly it's going to be I don't want to give up the threes. So I know she's not going to get 15 of them every game like she did that one game. But we try to get her close to 10 at least every night. But the pull-ups are what really kill teams. Because teams are willing to live with that shot. But not if you make, you know, 7 or 8 in a row. They're still killers, you know. She's a complete basketball player. You saw how much she handled the ball. Okay, she had to bring the ball up. You saw, you know, the fact that defensively, how hard she had to work. So there's a lot on her, and I think she was a little bit naive at the beginning of the season when I said, you know, I know you expected to play with Paige. And it didn't happen much last year. And now here it is, and you're not going to play with her at all. So you have to be a little bit of you and a little bit of her. She goes, that's a lot, Coach. I said, yeah. She said, but it's not something I can't handle. Well, she's starting to find out now that's going to be a bitch to handle that. But if you're as good as she is, you live for those moments, right? So, you know. If anybody had any doubts, right, she became first-team All-American tonight. I don't know how many players are capable of doing what she did tonight. That was like an NBA performance, really.
You know, you touched on it a little bit, just the pressure on, you know, AZ this season. Just how do you think she responded to that, especially in that fourth, you know, scoring 17 of your guys' 20 points to end the game?
I was only 17 out of 20 that she scored of ours. I thought she had 21 out of our 20. When I say like it's an NBA performance, it's like, you know, you watch an NBA game, and all of a sudden one player starts getting off, and the basket looks like it's a swimming pool, you know, and you just keep going to him, just keep going to him and keep going to him. And I don't know that it'll be like that every game, but it takes a special kind of person to be able to handle knowing that we're coming to you that often and that we need you to make those. She's a special kind of player, you know. She has skills that the average player doesn't have. And she put them on display today.
Geno, this being the first of many high-profile, difficult challenges, a lot of them early for this team, to win this game, how much is this just kind of like a deep breath, take it easy moment for a lot of players who are just wondering what could become of this team, what could become of this season?
And what they say. They're excited about it, I think. I think they love the fact that we're playing this kind of schedule. I think they really relish these kind of games. You know, it's hard to come back from a loss and, you know, be told, hey, we're really good, because you start questioning, are we? But when you win a game like today, you can really go after them tomorrow or the next day at practice, and they understand why. But it's coming after a win, so there's good vibes. You know, they feel good about themselves, and they're more, you know, they're more apt to understand. Okay, we can't get away playing like this every night against good teams, but we're also not going to be like this every night. We're going to get better every day. So they should feel pretty good about themselves. And if they're mature, they can look at it and see, you know, and Nika was very mature about it. We have a lot of work to do, but we're pretty good when we're good. And tonight, when we had to be good, we were really good.